Hey guys, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a most carried video. Before I get into what's been in my pocket the most though, I want to wish everyone well, and I want to wish you a very, very happy Easter. This weekend coming up is Easter weekend. I hope you're able to enjoy a great meal with your family. I know it's going to be smaller than usual if you usually do what my family does and have a big extended family get together for Easter. With the social distancing right now, that's not going to be possible, but let's make the best of it. Let's have a happy, joyful, and blessed Easter weekend just the same. Now, getting back to the focus of the video, I want to start with two non-knife items, which is normally what we do. These I think are the same. So the first is the Olight S Mini. This is by far my most carried flashlight. Almost every single day. The only time I switch is if I have a need to, or maybe I'm carrying a light for review, or if it's going to be, the only time I don't carry this is if I'm going to be out in the dark for extended periods of time. I'll take something a little bigger with a little better battery life. Okay, so by the way, this along with as much as I can, okay, that I'm going to show you, I will put in my Amazon store, and then I'll put a link to my Amazon store. So that just allows me to put one link and you can find everything there rather than listing a long list with 1,000,001 links. I can't promise that all the knives I'll be sharing with you are available there. However, I'm pretty confident that this will be available, and this is an easy recommend. Even if you don't normally carry an EDC pen, this one is very affordable, very easy to carry around because it's super lightweight. And yeah, this is by far, I would suggest, the best everyday carry pen. It's lightweight, it's tough. And here's my problem with, I know I'm getting off track here, but I'm going to say this anyway. My problem with most EDC pens is they're more of a Kubotan with an ink refill. This is a pen first, so it writes well. The line is beautiful and crisp and clean. It's comfortable. It's very lightweight and easy to carry. So I think it's like half an ounce. You may have already seen my review, and if you did, I guess you can disregard all of this. But if you haven't, I don't know how this is going to work out, whether this video is going to post first or the review of this pen is going to post first. But either way, they should be within a day or two of each other. So there you go. This will be in my Amazon store, and I love this pen. Some of you know I misplaced it a while back, and I actually got another one, and then I actually bought two, so I'd have a backup pen in case I lost one. And then after I did that, I got my wife was talking to her mom on the phone, and we had been there, kind of before, staying away from each other was a thing. And I had left my pen behind along with the notebook that I had been using to take some notes. So found the pen after it was already, kind of too late. And it's going to be a while before we go pick it up because, of course, no one's really traveling much. So let's get that pen out of the way, back into my pocket, and we'll start sharing some knives. So first knife I want to share is one that I've been kind of carrying for review, but also kind of loving. And this is going to be a bit of a theme for today. I've got a few more fixed blades than usual. This is the Kaiser Harpoon. I have been really enjoying this. It's easy to carry. I've been carrying it scout carry. Haven't tried a kidney carry yet, but I maybe will do that tomorrow. Really cuts well, and it's just a great utility tool. I've really been enjoying this. It carries very well. It's nice and comfortable, and it gives you a ton of blade to get work done when you need it. So you don't really, usually my complaint about a fixed blade is you end up carrying something smaller than you want because in order to fit it into a small enough package to EDC, you end up with a shorter blade, shorter handle, and a lot of sacrifices. This, it feels great in hand and cuts really well and has almost 4 inches of blade there. So really enjoying carrying this guy. I haven't reviewed it yet, but look for that review coming in the future. It's probably going to be pretty positive because I've been pretty stinking impressed. Next thing that is a little bit different for me, this is the Zero Tolerance 0470. Really beautiful carbon fiber there. Great Sinkovich design, and this guy has been in my pocket quite a lot because guess what? When you're social distancing, you don't need to wear jeans. You can run around the house in track pants all day. The one thing I will say I do is I get up and get dressed right away, but sometimes it's just in a pair of workout pants or something like that. And that means carrying something big and heavy doesn't always work. But this is so light and so small and just easy to carry that I find I can carry this even in a pair of track pants or a pair of workout pants without any issues. So great, what would you say? Great social distancing carry, still allows you, and you know, the part of the reason is I get dressed all the time because you never know when there's going to be a fire call. So you can't just be hanging around the house in your boxers or something like that, and the pager goes off. You got to be dressed and ready to run out the door at a moment's notice. And so this allows me to kind of do that and still be comfortable for, you know, if I'm going to play a game with the kids or do something like that. All right, so this guy has been in my pocket a lot. I'm actually pretty stinking impressed with it, more so than I anticipated I would be. Now, when I do get dressed and go out, and actually I am working most days, I've been carrying this guy a lot. It's just such a perfect, well-rounded knife. One of the things we've been doing is going and doing some stuff out in the bush because it's an easy way to stay away from people. It's safe, and the kids still have fun, and it gets them out of the house. And this is a great knife for that. You know, when I'm going to be in the office part of the day, I'm going to be traveling around part of the day, I'm going to be in the bush, you know, letting the dog run for a certain part of the day. This knife is, you know, just well suited to anything you could possibly think of. And so, man, look at the fingerprints all over it. Maybe I can wipe it off a little. So this 8010 from Cold Steel is probably, at this point, this is my favorite Cold Steel. I just love this knife. It's one of my favorite knives, in fact, that's ever existed. And so it just gets carried a ton, really, really does. All right, moving on. What else have we got here? We've got a classic. This may be my most featured knife. If you've watched other of my most carried videos, you have seen the Riot Torrent many, many times. I just love this knife. It's, again, this is on my short list of very favorite knives of all time. It just, everything about it is exactly what I want. The action is perfect. It carries in pocket very nicely. The blade is perfect. I love the looks of it. You know, the feel in hand and the details and the classiness of this are, you know, just all dialed in. So I have to say the Riot Torrent is one of my all-time favorite knives, and because of that, you know, rarely does a week go by that I haven't carried this at least one or two times. So easy recommend, and an easy one to make this list. All right, similar to that, and a more recent love affair, I guess, is the Knives Malice. This knife is a collaboration with Ferrum Forge. You can definitely see the Ferrum Forge design shining through here, but it's sort of Knives' take on sort of the Ferrum Forge, I don't know, footprint. You know, it's almost like an Archbishop on steroids. And, you know, I love the Archbishop design, but it's just a little small for me. So this is really, really ideal. I have this flame anodized one. My initial one was just plain tie, and I do like this one just a little bit better. Huge thank you to Southern Edge Knife Works. I will put a link in the description box to them as well for sending this along. Great, great knife. You know, if you're only going to buy one knife, if you're only going to buy one knife and you want just a great example of what they can do, I think this is probably one of the best knives out there. And for me, I've said this before, and it's probably a little controversial, but to me, this is actually my favorite of the long list of Ferrum Forge knives that I love. And there are many, many Ferrum Forge knives that I absolutely adore because you know, something about the way those guys think is just highly appealing to me. All right, next knife on the list is another fixed blade. This is the Lion Steel M4. I think I recently shared the review of this guy. This knife is really, really good. Okay. To me, it's almost perfect. Now, I had one guy complain a bunch about a number of things. He said, "This is not a perfect knife, and here's the 10 reasons, 10 things I hate about it." Okay, that's good. One of them was the balance. Okay, I've got to share this with you guys, and this is going to be a bit of a controversial review. I don't think balance matters, right? Unless it's so bad that the knife is like tipping out of my hand, which would have to be very, very blade heavy knife, and it's going to be a chopping knife anyway, so then it's going to need it. But the reason I don't talk a lot about balance in my videos is because I'm not a martial artist, so I'm not, you know, doing a lot of, you know, martial blade craft, spinning knives around and stuff like that. When I use a knife, I take it out, I hold it by the handle, and I use it to chop stuff, to cut stuff. And, you know, if I'm holding the handle and I can reasonably control the blade, I don't find balance to be a thing. All right. Now let me say, if you were a butcher, right, where you're using a particular knife in a repetitive motion for days on end, I could see balance becoming a bigger issue in that case. But for an EDC knife where I'm going to take this out, I'm going to make a few cuts, maybe if I'm out in the bush, I'm going to, get my supper ready before I cook it on the campfire, that kind of thing. I don't know. I think people make a bigger deal out of balance than they need to. So I know I'm a bit of a Neanderthal and I'm just not nuanced, and that's the problem. Anyway, I absolutely love this knife. I love the feel in hand. I think the blade is one of the most nicely balanced fixed blades that is available out there. Now they do have the B35. Yes. So this year, Line Steel came out with the B35, which is similar to this in size, but a bit slimmer, a slightly slimmer blade and a higher grind. I definitely want to get my hands on one and see if it beats this, but I don't know. It's going to be a tough sell. I really, really enjoy this knife. And even though it's a leather sheath, I find the way it carries and the where it ends up kind of locating on my body and for me, it works out to be pretty concealable anyway, so it's not, waving around like a flag that says I'm carrying a knife. Along those lines, I've got the Jaros Globetrotter here. Now, the Globetrotter, this was a bit of I've wanted one for quite a long time, and when Jesse, posted on Instagram that he had a few left, I was happy to jump on it. You do have to, if you buy one of these, you have to get your sheath separately. And, that became a bit of a fiasco. You have to find him. You have to find the person making the sheath, and you have to, place your order. It's going to be a couple of weeks because he doesn't just have them on hand ready to send out. So that was a weird situation because I got the knife. I had it for quite a long time, and then I couldn't really use it practically or carry it until I got the sheath, which did take a little bit of time. So I don't know. It would improve the overall buying experience to have some sheaths ready to go. Jesse, if you ever watch this, take it under advisement or don't, doesn't really matter, but that's just my 2 cents on that. I may talk a little more about it in the full review. Finally, last but not least, a knife that's almost always on this list is my Para 2. Just a great knife, and it's one of those knives where when I don't really know what else to carry, how you have those days where you're kind of trying to pick what you want and you're having a hard time coming up with it, I just pretty much always default to this. It's versatile. It's going to do just about everything I want to do. It can do some outdoor stuff, indoor stuff, EDC stuff, just a really nice, well-rounded knife that I end up carrying an awful lot. We've talked about this knife many, many times, so it almost isn't necessary to talk about. But there you go. That's been the stuff in my pocket the most often over the last, few weeks and months since the last time I did one of these videos. Some significant changes. I don't think I've ever had 3 fixed blades. The reason I don't have the sheath is because I'm actually wearing the sheath for this right now. So I've rarely had this many fixed blades. Look for all of this stuff on my Amazon store. Check out the links down below to Southern Edge Knife Works. You can use my discount code SHARPSTUFF to save 15%. You can use my discount code Sharp Stuff to save 10% at White Mountain Knives. Thank you in advance for using those links. It does help the channel a huge amount. And check out DLT Trading. I have an affiliate link for them as well. I won't share it in this video because they don't like me putting their link alongside others, but I'll share it over on the Sharp Stuff Facebook page again, just as sort of a reminder. All right, thanks again, guys. We'll talk to you soon.